started now. People have finished their P. Terry burgers, which I gather were good. So this afternoon, I'd like to introduce Robin Gonzalez, though she hardly needs introducing, except to a few new people maybe. I guess most of you already know her. She has been at Westminster for 15 years, first in assisted living and then for the last 9 years in her present job, which is Director of Residential Health Services. Close. This afternoon she's going to go into more detail about what her job covers, though today she's going to concentrate on emergency procedures. Do you know what to do if there's a fire? Do you know what to do if there's an ice storm, a tornado, or a power outing? Do you know when to use the pull cord? What DNR means, or full code? She is an encyclopedia of useful knowledge to keep us safe and healthy. And on a more personal note, when she's not busy doing all of the above and more, she loves to settle down with a good medical mystery. Please welcome Robin Gonzalez.
Thank you. Oh, that's loud. Can everybody hear me? I hope so, because it's really loud. Thank you for coming. I hope everybody did have fun at the Alzheimer's fundraising today. Today was the kickoff, and we will be soliciting donations, I think, for like the next 5 months. So be prepared for that. We have lots of exciting events coming up. Open your pocketbooks? I don't know. Have fun with it though. I think there's karaoke, and then some other events coming up, so lots of fun. Today we are going to be talking about how to stay safe here at Westminster during weather events and during health events that you also may have here. So some of the procedures that I'm going to be talking about is kind of what Westminster does to keep you safe, but also what you can do to help keep you safe in your apartments. So yes, it's me again. I know I just had a presentation a little less than a month ago, and then I have another one coming up in July. So yes, we're going to talk about weather. We're going to talk about emergency calls. We're going to talk a little bit about end of life. So there are some slides that are going to come a little bit later that are of sensitive material. Last year when I had this presentation, I did warn some residents, if you're a little, don't really want to hear this information, you can leave once we get to that part of the conversation. But I think it's important information, and residents have requested that I do talk about it. We're going to talk a little bit about technology, and I know that seems strange to talk about emergency procedures, but it is, you know, what happens with technology, and we're going to talk about scams, because I know some people have been scammed, and staff are not immune to that either, you know, in our personal lives and here at work, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So for weather emergencies, we're going to talk about fires, tornadoes, ice, heat, and power outages. Have we had any of these here? Yeah. Do y'all know what to do when any of these happen? Kind of, maybe. So with fire, if the fire alarms go off, do we run around screaming? Please don't. That causes more of an issue. So if a fire alarm sounds, reception and security and department heads, we all have things that we have to do. So we are in communication by radio. Okay, so we have jobs that we have to do. Security, reception are going to look at the panel to see where that fire alarm is sounding from, and we have to respond to that. And so we're talking on the radio, we're responding to that to see if it's an actual fire, or maybe it's a false alarm. Sometimes it's burnt bacon, sometimes it's burnt toast, sometimes they're doing construction in an apartment and the dust sets off the fire alarm, which we have to do re-education for the construction guys. So, security heads there, if there is a little fire, we can put that out. If it's a bigger fire, then we call the fire department. Our automatically contacts the fire department. So we have to talk with them if we need to, cancel them. If it's something small or if it really isn't a fire, we cancel them. If it's just smoke, so say you burnt your bacon, you burnt your toast, we can open the windows and get some fans and clear out your apartment. We ask that you don't open your door because then it fills the hallway. And then we may set off other alarms, or we're filling the hallway with smoke. So we can open your windows and we can get fans. If there is a fire, we can use fire extinguishers, or if it's a big fire, then we have the fire department come. So if the fire alarms are going off, we don't want everybody evacuating everywhere. So we shelter in place, unless the fire is where? In your apartment. So don't sit there. If there's a fire in your kitchen, you can leave your apartment if there's a fire, okay? We don't want you getting hurt. We don't want you getting burned, so you can leave your apartment. During a fire alarm, because what is reception, security, and department heads doing? We're doing all these. We're listening on the radio. We're checking to see where the fire alarms are going off. We ask that you don't call reception. And if you're not injured, if you're not hurting, if you're not falling on the ground, don't push your pendant at this time. To say, hey, did you know the fire alarms are going off? We know they're going off, so if you're calling reception, that means your neighbor might be calling reception, your neighbor's neighbor might be calling reception, and they're having to answer those calls while they're trying to do their duties, okay? And then if you're calling and you're like, why is that fire alarm going off? Well, we're in the process of trying to figure that out. So we have job duties that we're trying to do, and if you're calling on the phone, that just kind of interrupts some of that, okay? So we want you to shelter in place, and then once that situation is over, then reception gives an all clear. It's highly, highly unlikely that we would evacuate, but if we did, if there was a large fire, associates will assist in helping you get out of that location. The firemen/firewomen would help in an evacuation. So if you're on a higher floor and you can't use the stairs, because do we use elevators in a fire? No. So if you cannot get down the stairs, we will help you evacuate. The firemen, firewomen would help you evacuate. We have a striker chair, which you can sit on, and we get you down the stairs. If needed, we would use blankets to hold you and carry you down the stairs. If needed, I guess the firemen can put you on their back and carry you down the stairs. But we will help you evacuate. So don't worry about that, we'll help you. Evacuation location, so Harrisville Hall can be an evacuation location. We would get you out of danger and make sure you're safe, okay? That's what we're here for, is to keep you safe. In a tornado, same thing. If we know the weather is going to be such that there are conditions of a tornado, we're listening to our weather radio, okay? So that's what we do. We listen to see if conditions are conducive of a tornado. We will give directions on the all-call system to let you know. If the warning has passed, we will give an all clear. If there is a tornado, do we want to be near glass? No. All your beautiful apartments have huge glass windows to see the beautiful trees, the courtyard, Camp Mabry, and whatever view you have. Those are dangerous in a tornado. So we would want you to go where? In the hallway, okay? So we would give direction to go to the hallway. If we know that you have mobility issues or maybe some cognitive issues, then we would go and help you get to that hallway, okay? If we had emergency after the tornado passed, if a tornado passed, then we're calling 911, we're getting EMS and fire here to help us out. I'm going to show you a little watch versus warning, kind of what that means. If we know that we have conditions for a tornado, we may ask you to bring stuff in from your balcony, because if a tornado is coming, all that stuff is going to come off of your balcony and maybe go through a window or hit somebody or hit a car. And then we're just monitoring TVs and radios. So this is a watch versus a warning. So this is a taco watch versus a taco warning. So with a taco watch, we have all the ingredients for a taco, but we may not have tacos. We just have everything for a taco. This is a taco warning. We're having tacos right now. Same thing for a tornado. We may have all the ingredients to have a tornado, but we might not have a tornado. Just the weather's got the right conditions. But a tornado warning means we're having a tornado right now. Okay, so that's kind of what a watch versus a warning means. For icy weather, has anybody here been through an ice storm here at Westminster? Yeah. Yeah, it's not all that fun. So if we know that an ice storm is coming, because again, administration, department heads are watching the weather, because our job is to keep you safe, we are constantly updating our staff on how to prep. So we've got salt on hand to do the walkways. We are prepping our team and talking about the catwalks on the top of Preston, the walkways between the courtyards, the front entrances, the back entrances. We have a WERT team, so that's a weather emergency response team, which is all department heads, supervisors, managers. So we all talk about our roles in emergencies. And we also plan to be here overnight. Some of us have spent the night here multiple times to make sure that if we got iced in at home, who's going to be here to help you if we're unable to get to work, okay? So we make sure that we have staff here to help you. We make sure people from food and beverage are here, people from environmental services are here, people from plant ops, maintenance are here, people from the healthcare center are here. So there are designated people from every department here at Westminster if we know that there's a weather emergency going to happen. We also have emergency kits so that if there are emergencies that we can help you. I sent out information on extreme heat because we had extreme heat at the beginning of April? May, March, I don't know, all my days run together now. So when we're having extreme heat here in Texas, sometimes it can get up to 115, and it's very humid like it was today. Don't spend as much time outside because heat exhaustion, heat stroke can happen very, very fast. You want to wear loose clothing. You want to make sure you stay hydrated. And hydrated doesn't mean you have to drink water. You can eat fruits. You can eat soups. You can have fruit juices. So you can have other things besides just water. Sit in shady areas. Don't go out in the middle of the afternoon. Do your running around in the mornings or the evenings. Stay out when it's really, really hot. If you notice one of your friends is acting strange or has been outside for a long amount of time, check on them. Now, some people that live out in the community, we would be worried if they didn't have air conditioner or they didn't have fans. Here, we don't really have to worry about that. But our security does more rounds when it's hot, just in case residents go outside and may spend too much time outside. We want to make sure they're safe and that they're hydrated and that they're not overheating. Power outage. Have we ever had a power outage here? Every now and then it happens. We do have backup generators though. If the power goes out Instead of getting up and then falling and then hurting yourself, please stay where you are. Try to have a seat at somewhere really close to where you are. Hopefully, I think most residents at a Christmas or a new resident that moved in have those little plug-ins that have a flashlight. Does everybody have one of those? Yeah. So those are really good in a power outage because the flashlight can come out of it and it still works. So it's good to have that in a close location. It may be good to get multiple of those to have them in different locations in your apartment. We do have an evacuation list that I keep, and I update it every month. And it has, I'll go over that in just a little bit. So people that have oxygen or use a CPAP machine, those are usually our priority people when the power goes out. So residents who use oxygen continuously or use a CPAP machine overnight, why do I need to worry about them? Because you need to breathe to stay alive. So if the power goes out, then those are the first people either I'm going to go to or the staff on duty are going to go to, because we want to make sure that they stay alive. So I have a list that has them designated to go see. Also, fall risk residents. We're going to make sure they're okay. Resetting your clocks, your TVs, etc. It's not an emergency. So if the power goes out, please do not push your pendant to call security to reset your clocks. Some residents do, and so that's taking security away from emergencies, real emergencies, to reset your clocks. Now you can call reception after the power has been restored and it's kind of settled down to ask for your clocks to be reset, okay? It's just not an emergency to push your pendant or pull your pull cord. So this is what I was talking about, the evacuation list. So every month I review this evacuation list. I have every resident on it. Your room number, your name, your phone number, if you have a pet, if you use oxygen, if you use a walker, if you use a power scooter, if you have a cognitive issue, if you have memory loss. I keep details like that on every resident. If I know you need help during a power outage, or if you would need help evacuating by us or by firemen, women, then you're on that list highlighted because you would be the first people that we go help, okay? If you're very, very, very independent, then we know you can follow instructions, or you could walk downstairs, or you can help us in an emergency, okay? But those that really need the help, especially if there's a power outage, we're gonna go to you to help you with your oxygen. So I keep that list. Every month I send it to all the department heads, I send it to reception, and I send it to security because we need to keep you safe. This is why the yearly medical history update, as much of a pain as it is to fill out every single year, that big packet that I send you, is so important to fill out because if any of your health history changes, I need to know about it because I keep little notes on everybody. So if anything changes, that's how we're keeping you safe here at Westminster. Emergency call information. We talk about this ad nauseum. You wear, hopefully, your pendant, your pull cord, because it's going to keep you safe in an emergency. If you have a fall, if you have any other issues besides setting your clocks or resetting your TVs, you can push it and security can come, nurse can come. If you know you need EMS right away, you can certainly call 911, but please also activate your pendants. Again, if somebody else is injured, push their pendant, not your own. Security always comes. It activates their pager with your room number but then it's also a geolocation. So if you're not in your apartment, it gives an approximate location of where you are. So if you push it because you fell, but you got yourself back up, and then you're walking to the bistro, they're trying to find you, and then you walk to the library, and then you walk to the bathroom, and then you walk to the Rowan. We are trying to find you because it's telling us that you're going to all these places. So if something happens and you push your pendant on purpose, stay where you are so we can find you and reset it. Some people push them on accident and don't know, so yes, we're trying to find you, which is fine. But if you push it on purpose, stay where you are so we can reset it. If a nurse is needed, then security radios for a nurse and a nurse comes to see you, and then security assist EMS and fire if needed. So they have a really important job to do. Nurses don't automatically call 911. They can do CPR, first aid, an assessment, education. They cannot give medications. And then I or the clinic would follow up with you the next business day. After hours on weekends, make sure you have your doctor's phone number in your phone to call them. They have after hours on-call services. Specialists have their numbers handy. You can go to urgent care. Again, pull cord or pendant. We'll talk about emergency versus non-emergency. Okay, who went to Chuck's chat? The most recent one. He stole my slide. So, if you will humor me, these are emergencies to push your pendant. Falls, major injury, cuts, open wounds, chest pain, stroke-like symptoms, fire, shortness of breath. Those are not emergencies. These are what we've been called for before. People have pushed their pendants for these things. Paperwork is confusing. They ran out of alcohol. The fire alarms are going off. Yeah, we know. Their light bulbs are out. Their clock, their TV, their phone is not working. They need water. They need to order food. They can't plug in their scooter. And their caregiver is late. Okay? Some of those things with a little asterisk, you can call reception and ask. If your caregiver is late, you hired them privately or you hired them through an agency, you need to call them or you need to call the agency, okay? If you're diagnosed with flu, COVID, or an infectious disease, we still have quarantine for COVID. We still have a small quarantine for flu. Be courteous of other residents, please. If you are sick and you know it's not allergies, don't infect other people. Stay home, don't be in large groups. Other residents are immunocompromised. Some residents have cancer and they're going through chemo. Some residents have other illnesses that they can't control. It may be autoimmune, there may be other things. So be respectful. We live in a community. Be respectful of them. If you are diagnosed outside of Westminster, so your primary care physician or their nurse practitioner diagnoses you with an infectious disease, COVID or flu, please let us know. Please don't hide it. We need to know if you've been diagnosed, okay? Urgent care versus the emergency room. So last year I put up this. And then the first one says allergic reactions. And so that's kind of like, you know, a little rash. But then someone said, well, what if you have an anaphylactic reaction? Shouldn't you go to the emergency room? And so I changed it. Yes, unless you have anaphylactic, then of course go to the ER. So yearly medical history update, we talked about that in my last presentation. So make sure update that information when we send out the packet, your vial of life, the bottle in your refrigerator. Does that come out of your refrigerator? No. Leave it there, please. Okay, the importance of your advanced directives. A lot of people have directives to physicians. That tells us what you want done, either in the hospital, so that's like life-sustaining treatment. So if you have an irreversible illness or disease, do you want treatment? So do you want artificial nutrition? Do you want antibiotics? Do you want feeding tubes? Do you want breathing tubes? That's what that's about. It's not CPR, it's not anything like that. So that a lot of people think that's a do not resuscitate, but it's not. That's more for hospital and long term. Full code versus do not resuscitate is if your heart stops, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to do chest compressions and try to bring you back to life? Or do you want to allow that natural death? I don't know the numbers, but I think more residents than not have a do not resuscitate, but I don't have the numbers on me. What I can do is look at that and then put it on the slides and then post it to the portal when I do that. So, a lot of residents want to know what happens when you pass away. I know it's not a fun topic. I don't get all the fun topics when I'm talking to residents. So, when you pass away, it kind of depends on your code status. If a resident is on hospice, so we do support hospice services in independent living. You can be in your apartment and be on hospice. We support that as long as you are still safe and are okay. That is considered an expected death, okay? With hospice, the expectancy is 6 months. It's not always 6 months, but that's the expectation. Anything else, whether you're a full code or a do not resuscitate, if you're not on hospice, you can be 103, you could be 87, you could be 110. It's considered an unexpected death. Even if you have chronic conditions, it doesn't matter. It's still an unexpected death per the city of Austin. So if you're on hospice, again, it's an expected death because you're expected to pass away. And you pass away, you can be found by your spouse, a friend, your family member, power of attorney. I use those interchangeably. So if I ever say your family, I mean your power of attorney also. Or security if you didn't check in. Then security and nursing is notified. Family is called if they're not already there. Hospice comes to pronounce. Then hospice notifies the medical examiner and the funeral home. And then the funeral home comes to pick you up. It's a pretty smooth process if you're on hospice because everything's expected, and plans are usually made, and it's usually just a smoother process. Then after the funeral home leaves, we discuss with the spouse the next steps, kind of what to expect. Or if you didn't have a spouse, we discuss what happens with the apartment following that, about vacating the apartment. Usually, 99% of the time when you're on hospice, you are a do not resuscitate. So, again, I preface this last presentation that if you really don't want to know this information about full code, because I talk a little bit more about it, you can leave the presentation, but I think it's necessary information. So these are procedures in the event of a death of a resident. So again, it's an unexpected death. So this is for a full code. So again, if you've passed away, you can be found by a spouse, a friend, family, POA, caregiver, or security if you didn't check in. Security or nursing is notified. We check your full code status on your face sheet. So that's in your vial, on your vial of life, on your face sheet in your vial of life, it says full code at the bottom. CPR can be initiated or not. If you've started rigor mortis, meaning you've been deceased for hours, I'm not moving blood around in your body, so we wouldn't start CPR because there's nothing to move around because you're stiff. We wouldn't do CPR if you're a full code. We would still have to call 911. We don't initiate CPR, we call your family. If you're a full code and we start CPR, I'm the nurse that responds. I'm on the phone with 911, I'm doing chest compressions, talking to 911, I'm telling them that you're a full code, I'm doing chest compressions, they're walking me through the process. EMS and fire and police will get here as fast as they can. Once they get here, they take over. I back off. I'm calling your family to get them here as fast as possible. EMS is going to be administering medications, rescue breathing, intubation. They may start the Lucas CPR machine. I have a picture of it on the next slide. Put you on a stretcher and get you to the hospital as fast as possible. Now, they may do all this, multiple rounds of chest compressions and medications, have an AED, be monitoring your heart rhythm, and there's no resuscitating you. They may call their on-call doctor and pronounce you at that time. It just kind of depends. This is a Lucas machine, so some CPR is exhausting for the person who's doing CPR. So sometimes they put a machine on you to do the CPR to give themselves a break. Or they put it on, get you on the stretcher, and it continues to do CPR as they get you into the ambulance. At the hospital, once you're there, any additional advanced directives would come into play. So do you have a directives to physician and you don't want intubation, they would pull it. You don't want a feeding tube, they wouldn't put in a feeding tube. That's where that comes into play. If it's not successful, then the doctors there would pronounce you, or your family would have to make a decision to stop treatment at that time. Okay, procedures in the event of a death of a resident, still unexpected, but you're a do not resuscitate. Again, you're found by spouse, family, power of attorney, friend, caregiver, or security because you didn't check in the morning. Security and nursing is notified. Again, we check your vial of life. That's why the vial of life is so important, because now, with the do not resuscitate, a copy of that form is in your vial of life, and at the bottom of the face sheet it says DNR. So we do vital signs. So I come in your apartment, I check that vial of life, there's a DNR, I come to you, I take your vital signs, there's no vital signs, I do not initiate CPR, okay? I call your family, I let them know. That is not a fun call. I will let you know. I've had to make many of them. It's not my favorite part of the job, I can tell you that. I still call 911 and I tell them that a resident has passed away. They have a do not resuscitate and I am not starting CPR. I confirm this with the 911 operator. They still send out EMS, fire, and police. And I saw someone mouth, why? Why? Because it's a what? It's an unexpected death. They don't care that you're a do not resuscitate or a full code. They still have to come out. So they arrive, they verify the do not resuscitate, because I could have been lying. I could just say every single one's a do not resuscitate and I don't care. They don't know. So they have to come out and verify that I have that piece of paper. It's signed correctly. It's signed by your doctor. You signed it, or your power of attorney signed it. A notary signed it, or 2 witnesses signed it. They signed it at every place. It's front and back, and we have a copy of it. If none of that is correct, they will start CPR. That's why it's so important to do that paperwork. So EMS, even if police come, they still wait for EMS. EMS shows up, they do your vital signs again, confirm that you've passed away. Then they call their doctor on call to pronounce you. Police will secure the scene and start their investigation. At this point, it is an active crime scene, unfortunately. That's what they call it. I have asked why, and it's just what it is, because it's an unexpected death. It is an active crime scene. And at this time, that hurts people's feelings, but they have to do their investigation. Did someone take pills? Did someone hurt themselves? When was the last time they were seen? Are they independent? They go through all of that. Then they review the health history, they call the medical examiner. The medical examiner can either release the body or they can ask for an autopsy, it just kind of depends. Then the resident may be released to the funeral home. So then the funeral home is called. Hopefully at this time the family's shown up during this process. This could be a 4-hour process. So when it happens on my shift when I'm here, I dedicate 4 hours of my time to this. From when I walk in the room to see the resident, usually till when the funeral home leaves. It takes 4 hours, unfortunately. After the funeral home departs, the apartment's locked up if there's no spouse, and then I discuss the next steps, either with the spouse or I talk to the family about vacating the apartment. Sometimes at that time, if family really wants to know, or if it really was an unexpected death, then I give them some time to grieve, and then we talk about the apartment. If the resident lived alone, we do have a move-out process. I give a move-out packet. It's instructions on how to vacate. We give preferred providers on movers, consignment, shredding. A 30-day vacate date is set, and the move-out contact person is Rachel Gill. She answers questions. Who all has a computer? Who all has email? Who all has a bank account? An iPad, a tablet, an iPhone. Everybody's got something. So, sometimes when residents pass away, families need information that are on all those devices, and they can't get in. So, it's really handy if you've got all of those passwords written down somewhere. You could have them under your keyboard. You can have them somewhere that families can access. Another good thing is the password to get onto your computer. Not just your bank accounts, but to actually, when the screen comes up, that first password to get onto your computer, onto your phone, onto your tablet. You know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you choose. Scams and fraud. Has anybody been a victim of scams or a fraud? You click on the wrong thing, and then all that stuff pops up, or your screen goes blue. Ugh. So the scam could be a tech support, or it could be an online or a romance scam. You know, I need money. I need to send me $10,000 and you'll get $50,000 back. Or somebody calls you, or no. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
So people will call you and say, can you hear me? And you say yes. That gives them a recording to use your voice to say yes to open accounts. So if someone calls you and says, can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear you. But if you say yes, they can use that recording to open accounts. Buy me a gift card. Has anybody gotten that scam or that email? I got one from Chuck once. It wasn't Chuck. Robin, I'm in a meeting, can you go buy me some gift cards? He's never asked me to buy gift cards. Grandparent scam. Your grandkids in jail. Come bail me out. Social Security office, debt collectors. Never give your Social Security or bank number or password over the phone. If someone says you're going to be put in jail or prison or threatens to arrest you, tell them to come get you. They're not going to do it. Give us the phone. We'll tell them to come get us. They're not going to do it. Hang up right away if they're threatening or you don't know who it is. Are you going to hurt their feelings? Too bad. Hang up. It doesn't matter. Notify Westminster right away if you think you've been scammed or a victim of fraud. Don't be embarrassed. It happens to all of us. It's okay. So here's some things. Congratulations, you're eligible for a tax refund. Click this link. Warning, we've detected viruses on your computer. Call tech support. Don't. I need you to pick up a couple of gift cards. Can you make this happen? PayPal. Confirm your information. Follow this link to claim your free prize. Don't do it. But if you do, tell somebody right away. Don't hide it. If somebody says, I'll meet you out front, bring me $10,000. Don't give them money. Don't give them money. We've got a couple of presentations coming up. I have another presentation July 31st. Gives me a little bit more time. How to stay independent and independent living. We talk about the what ifs. What if I'm sick? What if I'm depressed? What if I don't know, I'm losing weight? What if I'm gaining weight? What if, I don't know, what if anything? We talk about all that. Assisted living memory support, August 5th. The Arbor Long-Term Care and Rehab, September 10th. Clinic presentations, COVID, colds, flu, July 29th. Clinic services, October 28th. Okay, somebody asked me, if you have a do not resuscitate, can you wear a bracelet? Yes, you can, but it has to be specific. Otherwise, it's not legal, and EMS won't accept it. So, if you buy a bracelet, it has to say, Texas, out of hospital, that's the OOH, do not resuscitate. It has to look like that. Not the shape, but it has to say those words. You can get anything from $25, I looked it up to $2,000 if you want gold, diamond encrusted. You can get anything. You can get a simple bracelet, you can get fancy, but it has to say that. And there are certain websites that have it legally, okay? So yes, you can get jewelry to wear. Any questions?
It has to have that symbol.
It has to have, yes, it has to have the symbol and it has to say Texas out of hospital, do not resuscitate. But yeah, I think there's 4 websites that you can go to where you can order them appropriately from. Again, they range from like $25 up to thousands of dollars.
Are you hooked up to Camp Mabry's weather report?
He asked if we're hooked up to Camp Mabry's weather report. That's a great question for security. I know I personally am not. I would have to ask security and Chuck about that. They have some weather system that they listen to. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes?
Can you address the use of AEDs?
She asked about AEDs. So we have AEDs in every building, on every floor.
What is that? Say what they are.
So an AED assists in CPR. So it is, oh my God, it just left my brain. A defibrillator, yes, thank you. It's been a long day. So they are pads that we put on you that can read your rhythm of your heart to let us know if it can shock you or not, to help get your heart rhythm back. So we can put that on you during CPR. We do compressions, we stop, it reads your heart to see if there's a rhythm that's shockable, then it advises the shock or not. So if I find somebody down, I know they're a full code, I tell someone to go get the AED, they come back with it, apply it, I do rounds of chest compressions, stop, push the button, it analyzes and advises a shock or not. But we have them in every building, one on every floor. Yes, sir.
I am a little bit confused about these AEDs and emergency. Suppose an example, I take two examples. I found my spouse in my apartment. She needs resuscitation. I made my own self-assessment. Or I find someone in the hallway, okay? Time's evanescent, and I'm not gonna know, let's say I wanna find the AED myself. I'm not gonna find it. There's signs around in the side hallways where they are, but there's nothing like in airports where we have signs every so often say AED this way.
Right.
Could there be something that let me in the heat of confusion find the AED? Could you post signs on the hallways or something like this?
So we do have signs in the hallway. We don't have, so he's asking if we could have more signage to point you towards the AEDs. I'm not sure about that.
But even just little placards on the.
There are placards on the walls.
No, they're not.
They're by the AEDs.
By the AED.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
on the way, if I want to find it, I don't know where to go. I mean,
Right.
in the hallway, I don't see anything directing me to
Right.
where the AEDs are.
So what you could do, so if you're in your apartment and you know your wife needs CPR, I would pull your pull cord and start CPR with your wife. That's the most important thing versus the AED.
I agree.
Do that chest compressions. When security comes, then you're a two-person, and then they can go get the AED while you're doing CPR. Because if you're only a one person, you should not be leaving that person.
I agree. I mean, I'm not about shouting help or something.
Right,
I
right.
can get help from other residents or someone that may be around.
Right.
But we've observed an after hours one incident where he took the nurse, the on-call nurse out in assisted living, and security it was minutes, 5 or 10 minutes before they came. But meantime, someone dies during that time. I mean, I'm just saying.
Right.
And so,
So, I mean, we're a big campus, so even if I'm in the Preston and I'm coming to the Carlisle, that's why it's important to call. If you know 911 is needed, you call them immediately.
I understand.
You pull your pull cord, security is heading there. I mean, even if security's in the middle of their rounds and heading up there, time is of the essence.
well, it's minutes, and people can
I
die
know.
in minutes.
I know.
And
I know.
mean, I'm just.
I can't put arrows everywhere. So it is good to learn where they are, so that if there's an emergency, you do know where they are. I can't put arrows everywhere.
But you can put a few more. I mean, you do.
I
like
can-
you do-
I-
you
I'll
do
ask.
better in, like airports are an example. I'm just.
Okay, I can ask. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I've said my piece.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to wait, use the microphone. Yes. I wondered if I could tell people or tell you that the women are the operators that tell us what's going on from the ceiling, the little, what am I trying to say?
The all-call system.
Yeah, I think that's all gobbledygook. If they could be trained to speak more slowly and carefully and not, in the whole microphone and everything, like that. I wondered if they could just be trained a little bit more.
So if you're having difficulty hearing in your apartment, you can let reception know, because there are some apartments where they hear it clearly and really loud. So some apartments hear it differently. So if you're having difficulty in your apartment, let reception know so that somebody can evaluate your specific system. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But it's more than that. They should be saying it more than once. When
They
I'm-
do. So they've revised their system. Communication went out last week that they are revising their system where they repeat it twice. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we got that. Was it not posted to the portal? It wouldn't be portal, because that's internal communication. It went out last week, our new procedure and the verbiage of what they're supposed to say. That went out, yeah, yeah. But yeah, if you're having issues in your specific apartment, hearing it or understanding it, call reception. Don't push your pendant. Call reception and let them know so it can be, so IT or whatever department does it can come up and evaluate your specific one. Anybody else? No? Oh, one.
A while back, Robin, you had us renew some papers regarding our little vial in our refrigerator.
Yeah.
If we didn't hear anything from you, then nothing had to be changed, or did you change, or? I never did anything to that file, so. I don't know.
Sure. So this is what happens. So my assistant sends out those packets. So at the beginning of the year, it's Windsor, middle of the year, it's Preston, end of the year, it's Carlisle. Preston has the most people with 200 and something. So all those went out. We get them back. My assistant does all the phone number changes, contact changes, doctor changes, hospital changes. Then it comes to me. I update all the medical and review hers to make sure she made the corrections. Then it goes back to her. She prints all the new face sheets, attaches the do not resuscitate, attaches the medication list, and then it gets delivered to your apartment and put into your vial of life. If you haven't gotten it back, that is because I have a stack that big on my desk that I'm trying to get done. I'm working on it.
I haven't looked, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Shall we look at the files and see if they're different or something?
I probably haven't seen your name come through, so it's probably in the stack on my desk.
It's fine.
So leave the one that's there, because it's basic information.
Yeah.
So updated ones, I'm working on getting through those as fast as I can. Yeah, it just takes me sitting there and doing it.
That's all right. Just thought I missed it.
Yeah, no, it's coming.
Any more questions? We have any more questions?
We have one more.
Oh,
This is just related to fire extinguishers, kind of occurred to me. So if we see a fire, what are we supposed to do? We don't put it out ourselves, do we not?
If you have a fire extinguisher, you can,
I mean, I'm walking down the Windsor Hall.
but the alarm should be going off and security should be coming to you to put it out.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah.
If you have smoke, okay,
If it's smoke, it's smoke.
but it's gonna be set off the fire alarm. Okay.
It's gonna set it off, yeah. Okay, it's almost, oh, yep, one more.
Next one.
It's on. Hold it close to your mouth.
Maybe I missed it, but when the medical examiner comes and you're there for the 4 hours, does he decide on an autopsy or does the family decide?
The medical examiner doesn't come, he gets called. And so depending on the report of the police, because they're taking statements, they're looking at your face sheet health history, they're asking questions, they call the medical examiner and give all that information. Depending on that information, the medical examiner may say, okay, to release the body, it's fine. Or they may say, I want an autopsy. Then they send the body for autopsy. If the family requests one, the family can request one. But yeah, the medical examiner, in all the ones I've been to, the medical examiner has never come here. It's just all over the phone. Yeah.
Do you have lots of autopsies?
No, because usually for us, it's expected. For the city of Boston, it's not expected. Yeah.
thank you so much, Robin.
Thank you for
Very, very
coming.
interesting.
Yeah. If you have any questions, come see me.
Give Robin a hand, please. Thank you.
Thank you.